Good morning, everybody. This is Tom from Tom and Ruth Podcast. Today, I want to talk about something. It's kind of really different. It is, I would say, it is 80 degrees outside, high humidity, and it is hot. It is hot. It got hot early on this morning. I was doing my walk, and it was just really hot early on. We had rain yesterday. It was not much, probably an inch or so of rain here in Mindanao, where I live. Let me put it that way. It doesn't rain everywhere all the time, but it seems that we get our share of rain, which is fine. Great for the farmers and great for the animals, and it's great for cooling off things here in the Philippines. You don't realize how important that is. But today we're going to talk about something that I learned a little bit more about it than I ever thought I would. Uh, I never thought of this. I did not know my actions caused a reaction that I was not prepared for, and this is something that you don't think about it happening, but apparently it happens all the time. I recently was in town and I came upon a group of people. I normally just say, "Hi, how are you?" And apparently, in the group, this particular group, depending on their culture and the way they are, tribal or mountain people, which is the same, but there's different tribes, different actions, different reactions. But I just said hi, as not I do to everybody. It's an American way. Eye contact. Hi, how are you today? And apparently, someone said no. Filipino said no, 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 no. I heard in the background saying no. A Filipino man saying no, 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 no. I did not know what that meant, but apparently, I realized after it was all said and done, you have to be careful, sir. When talking with other people, including Ruth, I did not know that you should do that. And in some cultures, if a father or the leader sees you doing that, you're getting married, or their intent is for you to marry their daughter and or. Now this group, there's probably 6 or 7 men and children, boys, and probably 3 or 4 girls. Well, I didn't just said hi. I didn't go hi just there, but they think that being a male is that way. So it straightened me out on that. But recently, also, I was walking here, and Ruth had said this before a long time ago. Be very careful who you speak to, because not all people understand that that's your culture, that's the way you are. But here, you have to be very careful, because if you look to someone or say hi to someone, in some cultures, it's not appropriate to be spoken to unless they speak to you first and then you answer them. If you speak to them first, there's an intent for you to communicate and talk about things because remember, I'm in a culture of not everybody thinks about the money, but in some cases they think about quality of life and surviving. And so they see a white-skinned foreigner walking around and you say hi, they're going to assume something. Well, they know he's not saying hi to me. I'm a guy. He must be saying hi to my daughter. Well, you just have to be very careful. So I found myself in that particular territory that communication is very important, but it's not important as it seems. I think you should always be very careful on your actions, And I said, and even Ruth, she was taught at a young age, and apparently some are taught at a young age. Just keep your head down and keep walking. Don't express, any kind of hi, how are you? Because they perceive it as love and gratitude and love and kindness. So when you look at them, especially eye to eye, they perceive it as acts of kindness and physical attraction and physical and verbal affirmations that they say, hey, let's get together. I like you and I want to get together. That is really something. I did notice that in the beginning. I never could put a handle on it. why people always walk with their head down or head away and don't say anything to you. Most Filipino will speak to you, younger will, but the older ones will not. And I'm learning a lot. Even though I've been here 7 years, I know nothing. I know nothing. I'm like a grain of sand in the middle of the ocean. I know nothing about the cultures and the things. Each area is different. Now, a friend of mine in Behold told me this morning that he found himself in that same situation. And the leader approached him and says, okay, you're going to marry my daughter, right? He goes, no, I'm not married. I'm already married. No, I'm not marrying your daughter. And the guy says, yeah, you are. You approached her. He said, no, I approached a group, not her. I approached, walking down the road, hey, how you doing? And apparently they took it as another way. Sometimes they see it as a way maybe they can make money. Sometimes they see it as a way, okay, I can marry off my daughter to this gentleman here and get a lot of money, or an action. So action, reaction. So it happens. Another gentleman this morning, since I did a video on it, wrote me and said that actually happened to him, and he had to get his father-in-law and his wife to get him out of it. He said, all I did was say hello. You know, it's like the old movie. There was a movie out. All I did was say hello. So you got to be careful, because they show, if you say hello and eye contact, it's appreciation and affection toward that person. It shows love and gratitude to them, and they see act of kindness, meaning there's a physical attraction between the both of you, and they get verbal affirmation, as it was told to me, that they want to get married to you, and they will marry you in 2 seconds. And I did not realize that. I did not even think about that. So, guys, I have to tell you, boy, I just learn something new every day. And it woke me up. So, relationships in the Philippines can be quite complicated, depending if you run in those situations. And hopefully you find a lady that is not out for your money, that she has affection for you, that she loves who you are, and she loves the type of person you are, and loves that bonding that you have. Not everybody has that here. Some Filipinos you will find in general that have no affection at all. There's just none. You get married, they're happy, they'll do anything for you, they'll help you, but there's just no affection. They don't wake up saying I love you. They don't wake up going to bed saying I love you. They don't tell you during the day they love you. You're just existing as a dual relationship. A lot of guys are finding that out after they're married, that they did not really get to know the lady in the beginning, and they're finding out that where is that affection? Where is that love that I used to get? Where is that kindness I used to get? Well, the love and kindness is like a new car. Sorry to use that as an example, but it's sad. I'm so sorry to use that analogy, but it's new to you. It's a relationship. It's new to you, but you look at it as something that is new, and you want to have a relationship, but everything is new, and it's new to her too. So everything's fun and exciting for a while, and honeymoon and travel and everything else. And even though you may still be traveling, but you'll find that some ladies would just not give you that particular kindness and love and saying, good morning, honey, I made you a cup of coffee already. Most of them will just make the coffee and not say good morning, or most of them will not make coffee at all, and you have to fend for yourself. There are situations where their goal is to find someone, and a foreigner of somebody, and they just take and they run with that. They just run with it, meaning that that's the way it's going to be, and that's nothing's going to change upon that. They're just going to try to get that person, and you're in a relationship before you know it, and that's their goal. Now, in this tribal situation, good morning, Marianne, good morning. On this tribal situation, I found it was very interesting that if you're walking and, say for instance, a group is there, and you just nod and say hi, just the simplicity thing of it, because us Americans will do that, it's all natural. I was just in amazement, and the Filipino told me, he says, keep your head down, don't look at them, don't acknowledge them, just keep your head down. And I said, what in the world are you talking about? I never heard such a thing. Then Ruth and another group filled me in and said, no, we're taught at a young age you shall not and you will not show attention towards some groups, some religions, some tribal, because it shows them affection, it shows them appreciation for you, love and gratitude, and I like the way you look, and kindness, and they see, once you say that hi and you look at them in the eye, there's a physical attraction. Now, whether or not they have it back is irrelevant, because a lot of times the leader or the father or someone is looking for some type of validation, meaning to, oh man, good, American finally said hi to somebody, or a foreigner finally said hi to me, and okay, good, we can marry her off, and things like that. Then you have it on the other instance, there's no goal on getting money or goal of trying to take money from you. They're just trying to get their daughter out working, because in some situations the daughter themselves are the responsible ones to make money for the family. The father and the sons will sit and wait for the daughters to do that. Now recently, how I know this in depth is because I have a friend that married a tribal lady here recently, and he has gone through all the pitfalls that has incurred upon him. He had to pay for the lady through the tribal leader an X amount of pigs and whatever, and he got married to her, and her love is a little bit different than a Filipino will give you. Just, I say normal, like, okay, my wife will give me love and attention and kindness and tell me she loves me when she wakes up in the morning. Good morning, I love you, how you do, how'd you sleep, whatever. Well, apparently this lady, since she's been married to her, doesn't show any affection at all. It's like, he says, it reminds me of a tree in the middle of the field, and that's her actions. And I said, what do you mean? He said, that is who she is. She's like a tree in the middle of a field, and she makes food, she does her things, but as far as communication, I said, well, she speaks English very well. Yeah, she speaks very good English, even being tribal. But he said, it's like there's no affection. There's none. I have to ask for a kiss. I have to ask for a hug. I have to ask for just about anything and everything that I want. Even though it's easily gotten, there's no denial there. It's just that my relationship, it seems to be a little rocky because of that, because I'm not used to as me. He said, as me, in which I've known him for a while, as me, and which is like me too as a person. We like to be, we're loving. We're very American. Well, I am, and he is. He said he was. He said, I'm loving. I wake up in the morning, I hold her, I hold her hand, and he said, we walk, I hold hands. He says, I pull the chair out for her, I put the chair underneath when she sits down, I hold all the doors open for her, I take care of her first before I take care of myself. In other words, she's spoiled, but yet she shows no kindness or sincerity or any kind of expression of love or physical affection back to him, and he finds himself like really kind of in limbo. And he said, how do I said, you're talking to someone I have no idea, because I'm not no counselor. I said, I have no idea. I said, other than maybe start telling her how you feel, tell your feelings. I mean, guys don't normally do that, but tell her how you feel. She needs to give you more affection. That's the reason you got married. If I wanted a tree in the middle of the field, I would try to get one, But and I remember he's just recently been married, and they're on honeymoon now. But the other gentleman that got out of that situation up in Bohol was also telling me that he had to have his father-in-law and his wife go get him out of that, because all he did was say hi and had eye contact to the group, and they assumed that he wanted to marry the daughter. And I guess apparently he says, hi, how were you guys doing today? And there was, I guess, like that. So they took it as, and of course, I look at it as maybe someone looking at trying to get money, but not everybody, I don't think, is, I don't know. What do I know what they're thinking in their mind? I'm thinking in my mind that maybe they're doing that, but what do I know? I don't know anything. I'm not there. I'm not there with him. But I knew I got myself in the close to the situation because I said hi to someone 2 different times, and I was told both times, don't do that. Don't say hi. Keep your mouth shut. I said, what am I supposed to do? My nature here in the Philippines, what? Is I'm going to be quiet all the time? And apparently, you have to. You can't just, unless you're talking to a guy a Filipino guy. Hey, how you doing? Hey, Joe, or whatever he calls you. That's fine. But if you talk to the opposite sex, you got to be very careful because they're going to think that's intent. Now, I don't understand that. Maybe I don't see that. Maybe someone can explain it to me. But I did not know that even one time when I first arrived here, I was here probably, and remember I've been here 7 years. So when I first arrived, I've probably been here about a year. I was walking down the street and somebody kind of walked out in front of us, and I said, "Oh, excuse me, and how are you today?" And Ruth says, "Don't do that." I said, "Why? What? You know what? I can do anything I want to do." And she said, "That girl is gonna think." I said, "What do you mean she's gonna think?" All I said is, that. And I guess, and I thought maybe it's jealousy on Ruth's side, but now I come to find out she was kind of right because the girl says, "Oh, hi, how are you? Are you guys married?" Like that. And I said, "Oh, I see. Okay. So, yeah, we're married." "Oh, okay." And it's like, and I have had them come up and ask me, Ruth, like within 10 feet of me, "Are you married? Are you guys married? Are you married?" So that will happen sometimes. Does it happen all the time? No. Does it happen? Yes, it happens. Yesterday, for an example, I was in town and I was at that restaurant, and the group came in. They were from the mountain, and they were getting something to drink, and it was all new to them. They were in that restaurant, and they were getting something to drink, and I was just sitting there with RR, and Ruth was at the store, and you could tell their action was like staring, which is it's normal for where I'm at here in the Philippines for people to stare at me the whole time. They actually stared at me almost an hour there, literally nonstop staring. Well, is that natural? Well, I guess it is, and it has been that way for me, no matter what. I mean, maybe I'm big, and I don't know. I really don't know. Well, R said to me, she says, "Daddy, she said, "Daddy, can I tell you?" Now, R's 14. She says, "Can I tell you something?" I said, "Yeah." She says, "You have to be very careful on who you say hi to." She says, "Did you see the young girls in that group?" And I go, "What do you mean?" Or I don't know what you're saying. She said, "The other girls are young. They're like 30, 25, 30 years old. And she said, "I don't know if they're married, but Daddy, if you say that to them, they're going to think that you want them." I said, "I didn't say it to them. I said it to the group. Hello, to the group. I didn't say hello to them." He said, "Yeah, but in the culture, Daddy, that's what they do." He said, "You got to stop doing that." So R straightened me out on that, and I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "But why they keep staring?" She goes, "That's what they do, Daddy. They just keep staring no matter what." She said, "That little girl has been all of them been staring. Even the men were staring at you." And I said, "Do I need to be careful?" She goes, "No, you're fine. It's just just staring just because. Maybe they're not ever seen somebody like you before in their life." But I know that I did not realize that showing that type of physical attention will cause that they're thinking they have physical intimacy. I did not know that. So it is very, very important that you don't show yourself in a way that will cause that to happen. I've been wondering about that all the whole time I've been here, and it's not something I'm used to in the States. Everybody says hi to everybody. Some people just don't. They go, they grunt as you're walking by, and don't talk to me. Some of you, leave me alone. They don't look at me. Don't even look at me. And they have that attitude. I mean, I've had people cuss at me, said, "Don't even talk to me." And that's what they do sometimes in the States, because the difference between the United States and the Philippines is this. The Philippines has one major culture, it's Filipino. The other cultures are shipped in. Korean, Chinese, Australian, foreigners. foreigners. And then there's other people from other parts of maybe will filter themselves here. But America has a diverse amount of people. Man, they're from Cuba, they're from Russia, they're from England, they're from all over the world getting in the country, and they've been there, Italian and Polish, and they've been there for 100 years, and they're filtering in even to this day from Brazil and France, Venezuela, Peru, Mexico, and you got all these people and all these different cultures. Every culture is different. Latin America and Puerto Rico. I mean, I remember going down to South Beach in Cuba. A lot of Cubans down there in South Beach, and a lot of Puerto Ricans, a lot of just people in general, and you have that mix of cultures that people eventually filter around and turn themselves Western. But here, apparently, it's not to that step yet, and they're far from being Western because a lot of people have nosebleeds and they cannot speak English. No matter, there are many times now, more so than it ever has been. They're not speaking any kind of anything other than their own language, Cebuano, Ilocano, Visaya, Tagalog, their own language. So Ruth even has sometimes a problem because they'll be speaking Ilocano or Cebuano, and she's, well, okay, hold on, what did you say? You know, so I know Tagalog can understand the Visaya because they're down here and they don't understand what Visaya, what they're saying. So. But more people speak Visaya than anywhere Tagalog. That's what I understand. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. You guys can tell me. But I know that I found myself kind of like, gosh, I can't even say hi to anybody. I can't even do that. So I was really kind of frustrated just how that came about, how that happened. It's like, geez, I'm trying to be nice, and it's got to where I don't want to walk on eggshells all the time, you know. And I have found that even in Davao. When I was there in Davao, you listen. If your intentions to show favor toward a little bit more, they will filter around you more. What I mean by that is this: if I was at a resort and I said hi to some of the staff, how you doing? You know, good morning. Can I have another cup of coffee? How you doing? And getting a small conversation with them. Well, they're thinking that there's intention there for a relationship and an act of kindness and physical affection. Well, a few minutes later, they'll come over and they'll sit close to you or sit by you. I accidentally said that to someone. Next thing you know, they're sitting at my table there at the resort. Ruth and I are still in the room. And Ruth come out and sat down and says, "Who's this?" I said, "Well, the lady's staff." "Oh, I thought, so you're married?" I go, "Yeah, I'm married. Yeah, this is my wife, Ruth." And so, "Oh, sorry." And then you get up and leave. Well, that was really an uncomfortable situation for everybody. Ruth says, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm not doing anything. I just said, good morning, got a cup of coffee, went and sat down at the table." What's up? What's wrong with that? I mean, God, give me a break, right? And that's what I'm saying. Give me a break. And I'm getting the New Yorker. I'm getting ready to. I'm just going just nuts. He says, "No," and the person was sitting there and said, just normal conversation. "Yeah, beautiful day," and nothing was really said. I didn't say anything. We weren't talking. Just sat down there, They were on the phone, and I'm on my phone. Next thing you know, and there's 20 other empty tables, so there I am. So I it's like, there you go. So I should have learned early on that that's what it was. I just thought it was just one time abnormal, but I see that it's actually a normal thing for that to happen here, and that's normal for here. Now, it happened in Davao. Did it happen in CDO? No. It did one time. Me and Alton were sitting at a table, and it happened to Alton and I one time where the girls were getting, our wives were getting the meal, and some lady comes sit down at the table. "Hey, what are you guys doing today?" And Alton says, "We're married." And she goes, "Okay." And she gets up and leaves. I said, "How did you even know?" He goes, "Tom, I've been here 38 years. And I said, "Oh, really?" So he told me stories. So there you go. I want to thank you. I've been talking, jabbering for a long time. Marianne, how you doing today? Mariam? I'm sorry. No, it's Mariam. Good morning. So I want to thank everybody for coming on today, and thank you so much, and thank you, Chris, for coming on the studio today, and Paula, Pauline, Paula J. Thank you. And so I'll see you guys next time on Tom and Ruth Podcast.